I do not live in hope. I work to return it.
Welcome everybody to the patch rundown of apparently 25 S1.1. They're just doing something new with it where basically there's going to be an Act 1 and an Act 2 and there's going to be 3 seasons, but your rank won't reset, so don't worry about it. Each act will have 4 4 patches. So this should be Act 1, then there's Act 2, and then the S1 becomes S2, same thing, then S3, then the season ends. But let's get into the patch. Welcome to Noxus. I'm not going to be reading everything fully, since I kinda went over it by myself when it was on PBE and earlier, just to make this somewhat short and sweet, but I wouldn't be surprised if the video is still 1 hour long.
So that was a fucking lie.
Fearless Draft, this is mostly for pro play, basically meaning there won't be... The moment you pick a character in Champ Select or in the game, it won't be picked again. So if somebody picks Aatrox because he's strong, Aatrox cannot be played again in the best of 2 or best of 5 format. Nothing related to the game really. But it could mean that there's gonna be less balance changes based around what's happening in pro play. Kinda like how Azir and Kalista got Omega nerfed years ago, just because they're very popular in pro play. Noxus invades the Rift. They're actually changing the map. Maybe we have the winter map one day, but for now, they're just changing the map. They're just gonna have some Noxus feel to it. They're just gonna add a lot of Noxus themed things like minions, towers, the map, and whatnot. But nothing that changes the gameplay too much so far. So this isn't worth the read for me, at least for the video. But they are gonna bring in a new monster camp called Atakhan. Fun lore fact, this is Mordekaiser has like 2 demons.
Brazil.
He has a right hand and a left hand, and the one on its right hand is Atakhan. The one on his left hand is Tibers, and he's Fire Demon. It has a different name. I forgot its name, but if I remember it, I'll probably add it on screen with a picture. But Atakhan will be a new jungle monster that will spawn at 20 minutes instead of Baron. But it has 2 different forms, and that's based on how much action there has been within the game. Which size spawn depends on which has seen more champion damage. Champion damage and kills by 14 minutes. Okay. And at 14 minutes, this pit will spawn with 2 permanent walls carve out. It's territory. Okay, so there's gonna be walls around where it's gonna spawn at 14 minutes, even though it comes out at 20. Here it says the amount of champions damage and kills done in the game will also affect which 2 forms the demon takes. This Atakhan's buff will grant you more gold for everybody you kill in the game afterwards, just so the game can like kind of snowball or give you a lead to push it forward, since the game is just pretty much slow. This will probably affect pro play in a sense, because sometimes they're just stalemates. They don't look to fight unless it's like for Dragon or something like that. And for slower games in League, which could happen, where everybody's playing safe or they're playing scaling characters, just so the game doesn't stall out too much. Now we can see Voracious Atakhan buff. Upon taking down Voracious Atakhan, the team slayed him. Receives a permanent 40 gold bonus to champion takedown for the rest of the game. So yeah, if you kill somebody, you're always going to get 40 gold, no matter how much bounty or gold the champion will give you. By default, it's like 300 gold. So after you kill Voracious one, where not a lot of kills or damages happen, instead you will get 340 gold instead of 300. And you'll have a one-time death mitigation for the next, I think like 1 minute and 30. Ruinous Atakhan. Upon taking down Ruinous Atakhan, the team slayed receives 25 increase to all 25 increase to all monster rewards for the rest of the game. So if you have like Mountain Soul or just Mountain Dragon in general, you're gonna get a 25% buff on its bonus whether it's damage, resistance, healing, shielding, anything, depending which dragon you get, or even Baron. And 6 Bloody Petals immediately, and it will then spawn 6 large and 6 small blood pools around this pit. Okay, so that's like a lot for everybody to like pick up. Blood Rose and Petals. Each petal gives the player picked up team 25 EXP, increased by up to 100% based on their KDA, but a lower KDA offering more experience. Basically saying if you're very behind or you have a very bad KDA, the roses will give you more experience so you can catch up. So if you're like an ending Scion, or you're just having a bad game, it could get you back into the game if you can pick up the roses or the petals. Given the reason why they wanted to add it additionally, basically saying most teams don't attack Baron the moment Baron spawns, so they wanted to add something extra at 20 minutes instead, and Baron will now spawn at 25 minutes instead. So Grubs will still despawn at 14, then Atakhan's walls will be made depending on which side of the map things have been going, like whether a lot of kills or damage has been done or if the game's been slow. And then Rift will spawn in like 2 minutes right after. Then Atakhan will spawn in 4 minutes, and then after Atakhan, Baron will spawn in 5 minutes. So it's like there's like way more shorter times between bigger objectives that are on Dragon. Respawning Nexus turrets.
Sorry.
Well, that's kind of fucked.
Why?
Just like inhibitors, next turret will now respawn at full health at a set amount of time after being destroyed. When they'll respawn, they all have the same properties, good as new. Okay. Nexus turret respawn time after being destroyed. Nexus turret will spawn after 3 minutes delay. Understandable. Basically, they're trying to do this so when all your Nexus towers are gone and you actually make a comeback, it doesn't feel like a doomed game because maybe you're somebody that is really good at backdooring and you can never leave your base because a Ranger can ult in, TF can ult in, Shaco can just walk in, Talon, or just a Yorick or a Nasus or even something like a Sun just runs into your base the moment you get a comeback and you try to take Baron or Elder or whatever. So after 3 minutes, your Nexus tower will come back, which is honestly ample time for you to look to backdoor or end the game. So kind of a nerf to split push, but I don't mind it because a lot of times my team could fall behind, we lose a whole Nexus turret, and then the game is like on 1 foot. Now we come back, but one more mistake and the game feels like it's over. This is also good because Nexus turrets are very squishy. They're the squishiest towers in the game, so it's nice that at least they come back if you do take them down. Feats of Strength. This is like the main mechanic of the season, at least for Noxus. It will basically bring a system that's like 2 out of 3, meaning this is going to replace the first gold bonus from First Blood and First Style while adding a 3rd Feat of Strength, 3 epic monster claims. So this could even include Baron instead, if like nobody gets Grubs or Rift, for example. So anybody can get it eventually. If you just get First Blood and you get First Turret, that should be it for the most part. But you could still get it by getting all 3. So once you complete this, it will upgrade your tier 2 boots, like your full boots, and give it extra stats. And after you have 2 legendary items, meaning 2 full items, like after we get Iceborne and Cleaver, you'll have the option to buy a boots upgrade. They don't have the pictures there, but I have them saved, so I'll try to show them on screen for you guys to see. But it's going to be Triumphant Berserker Greaves, gives 5 more attack speed. Lucidity Boots, 5 more haste. Magic Penetration for mages, 5 more armor. This is the one I will most likely be building all the time for plated steel caps. 5 more magic resist, 5 more movement speed, and 5 more movement speed for Swifties and Baron Boots. I don't like saying Synchronized Souls, but that just sounds weird. These ones are the ones you get for free after you have the buff, but these are the ones you have to buy, which they cost 650 gold. Then there's Gun Metal Greaves. That sounds metal as fuck, bro. Gun Metal? The fuck? It's like +5. It's just plus. Okay, so it gains an additional 5% attack speed. It gets an additional 5% movement speed. And upon attacking a champion, gain 15 for melees and 10% for range. Movement speed decaying over 2 seconds. So it basically gains a phase-like passive, like Triforce Ass or Black Cleaver Ass, but technically like Triforce Ass. But it's not flat, it's like percentage, so that's kind of scary. Imagine like when Yone or Trinity attacks you, they gain 5%. Well, Yone would gain 15% decaying movement speed over 2 seconds. Now that's gonna be a bit scary. So how is broken this patch gonna be? It's gonna be very broken boots wise for whoever gets the Feats of Strength, it looks like, because some of these boots look broken on some characters. That's a lot of movement speed. Like the boots is gonna gain 5 extra movement speed already, and then as you auto attack, which 80 carries, Yasuo all will do at all times with their mobility. So that's gonna be wicked. They're gonna abuse the fuck out of that if they get this buff. So attack speed boots, gaining more movement speed and attack speed and movement speed again is crazy. Some 80 carries will be gliding, like super kiting. Scary. Scary as fuck. That's what I'm saying. Fauna's gonna be wicked with it. She's gonna be gliding for real. Then this Crimson Lucidity Boot, Ionian Boots. 10 Lucidity, so it gains 5 more Lucidity, also gains 5 more movement speed, and then upon damaging an enemy with a spell, using a summoner spell, or buffing an ally with a spell, gain 10%. Gain 10%, 8 for range, okay. Movement speed for 4 seconds. So this is like you gain 10% movement speed if you're like melee, but 8% for most everybody else. But that's still wicked. Like, think of like, so if you damage somebody with a spell, you gain movement speed. This can work on anybody that could just hit you with a spell. Then there's Spellslinger Shoes, basically Sorcerer Shoes for mages. They gain 3 more magic penetration, fuck me. 5 more movement speed, and then 10% penetration. Yes, this item gets both flat and percentage. These are just broken. They could have just added something else here. I don't know what. Or if they did want to add penetration anyway, why not just 5? Because even 10 is scary. Like if I go to the wiki, this thing, Blighted Jewel. This gives 13% magic penetration, right? And it builds into Voice Staff that gives 40 and Crypt Bloom that gives 30% magic penetration. This costs 1100 gold. I think my thing is in the way, so I'm gonna scroll up. So this costs like 1100 gold. And this boot right here gives you 10. It gives you like 3% less for just 750. Of course, you need to get the boots to begin with, like the full boots, then it upgrades, and then you can buy this one later. But that is still kind of fucked up. That is fucked. Fuck this item. Yikes. Ooh, I almost forgot something. Imagine Mordekaiser building Lucidity Boots, because his passive counts as a spell, so if he's always burning you with his item, he will gain movement speed. Don't tell them that though. Uploads the video. Fuck my life. Armor Advance. This is basically the one I'll probably get every game, unless I need Merc Threats. We gain 10 extra armor, 5 more movement speed, and after taking physical damage from a champion, gain 10 up to 140 physical shield. Physical shield? I don't think we have that often in the game. Physical shield. I've heard of magical shield because actually Camille is the only character in the game that has a physical shield, so never mind. But yeah, there's nothing else in there. Plus 4% of your maximum health for 4 seconds. 12-second cooldown. So you can use it like at the beginning of a team fight or trade, and then it should come back at the end of it ish. Well, for a team fight probably not, but yeah. Chain Laced Crushers, basically Mercury Threads. This is basically the same thing, except it gives you a magic shield and the same value. Literally the same, just 10 more magic resist on it. It's not too bad. Swift March. Swifties. Gains and more movement speed, increase all your movement speed by 4%. This multiplies all other forms of movement speed. Note this is multiplicative, with other percentage movement speed increases, make it much more powerful than a standard movement speed increase. Okay. Cassiopeia. Shikanabai Boots. Snake Gaming.
We do not care.
Alright, teleport. They didn't know how to balance teleport too much. So instead of blinking, like instantly teleporting, they gave teleport like a travel time and a travel sort of animation. Kind of like you would see on a ARAM map, but it's going to be different. So the initial channel duration is lowered by 3 seconds. So now it only takes 3 seconds. And it goes from a blink to untargetable and unstoppable dash. Cooldown is down by 1 minute, so now it's only 5 minutes. Fucking A, that shit was 6. Couldn't be me. Unleash teleport travel speed seems to be higher. Good. Unleash teleport cooldown. They're increasing the duration of the movement speed you get after you teleport with Unleash teleport. Okay. Seems like they didn't say anything, so it seems like you'll still just have Unleash teleport after 10 minutes. Okay. But it also says you are now able to teleport onto wards and whatnot. So that's good. So now we can TP bottom earlier if we want, but it's gonna take way longer. So yeah. Alrighty, that's good. We can teleport back to minions or bottom, but the channel is shorter, but the travel time could be longer depending the distance. And we have 1 extra second of movement speed once we do teleport. And there will be whatchamacallit. There will be home guard's movement speed at the beginning of the game, so if you don't take teleport, you're not going to be walking the lane too slowly. Lane minions. This is going to be hard to explain, but I watched Freak's video like months ago, 1 or 2 months ago, and basically they want to make it so minions can kill each other faster in the early game. So minions will have less HP and less armor, but more damage against champions by a little bit. So right here, minion turret and minion damage up by 5%. Minion EXP range is also increased, so this is like to help you if you're being frozen on, aka us. Kind of helps us when people do that. That's kind of cool though. This hasn't been touched in forever as far as I know. But also they're giving minions against each other percentage HP against each other. So this means like if somebody's slow pushing into you, because you're gonna kill the wave faster, the wave won't build up too much. So if somebody's slowly crashing a wave into you, it's gonna be a bit faster. So there's gonna be a less bigger wave when people freeze at you and the wave is slowly coming to you, and that will be a bit faster just because minions have less HP, less armor at the beginning, and they deal percent max HP damage to each other. That's cool. So there's no longer gonna be a scary time where somebody slowly shoves the wave into you and then they force a dive with the jungle to kill you, so you lose the whole wave. Because if they try to do that, the wave will just push faster, and even if you still die to the dive, you will lose less minions because the build won't build up as slowly as before. It will just push faster because it has more damage but less HP and resistance, at least at the beginning. Later on, the minions will be tankier, slightly tankier, and you start gaining passive gold at like 140 instead of 150, which apparently everybody else has 20.4 more gold. Pretty sure Freak said this. He loves math. Turrets, basically, powers will be stronger because they used to deal 40% extra damage per stack, maxing at 220, and now it's 50 per stack, maxing at 250, and the heated duration is like 3 seconds, but now it's 5 seconds. But also fortification damage reduction is going to be lowered from 85 to 50. This is basically what makes towers and lane a bit harder to kill at the beginning for mid and top. But because turrets will become like a feats of strength, I'm pretty sure they're lowering in this, so if you are doing good, you can get more plates. But for bottom lane, I'm pretty sure it's like unchanged because there's 2 people attacking bottom. If the jungle gank, they're also going to be hitting the tower. So this is most for mid and top. So this is kind of like a buff to us if we're able to like push the enemy out of lane or kill them to just gain more plates. So this is going to be nice. I like that. Champion bounties. I read this one. and I still couldn't understand it. I think this is basically means like times where you would die and go 0-1 or 0-2. There was a chance you were still giving full gold to the enemy, but the moment you die once, the next time they kill you, you will give them less gold, and it will continue each time if you keep dying. Like they're perma-camping you. You will still die, but you're gonna give less gold over so it doesn't snowball too heavily. At least that's what I understand from this. Don't care, to be honest. But items. This season doesn't seem like there's gonna be a lot of items, but there's gonna be one that we could use in Bloodletter's Curse. Basically, AP version of Black Cleaver. So we could see someone like Mordecai use this. AP brewers lack a pen or shred item with stats that feel good for them to produce, so we're bringing over Bloodletter's Curse from Arena to accommodate that need. So it's like 2900, Haunting Guys plus Fiendish Codex, 60 ability power, 350 health, 15 ability haste, Val Decay. Dealing damage down with abilities or passives to champion reduce their magic resistance by 5% for 6 seconds up to 60. So yes, you can lower the enemy's magic resistance by 30%. But this could technically be used on Maiden or for those that go AP, because Maiden does deal magic damage and our E does also deal magic damage. I don't know if we will build this, but we would have to test it out and see. But if you go AP, then this is a new item. Or if you release Maiden a lot and you want the magic damage that Maiden deals as somebody's defending her to be more, and you have Leandris, you could also buy this to like double down on it. Could. I don't know if you would, but you could. But that's Bloodletter's Curse. The following runes has been removed. RIP. Ghost Poro. I actually like this when I went Zombie Ward, Eyeball Collection, and Nullifying Orb. Nullifying Orb wasn't used very often outside of cheesing. The following runes have been added. Deep Ward. Deep inside. Stealth wards placed in the enemy jungle are considered deep. So if you drop a ward in the enemy jungle, they're considered deep. After level 11, stealth wards placed in the river are considered deep as well. Okay, after level 11. Deep wards gain 1 extra health and 30 plus 40 seconds duration. Okay, so these wards, when placed in the enemy jungle, have an extra HP and a longer duration. And after your level 11, these wards will also be considered deep when placed in the river. So it's going to take longer for the enemy to take the ward. So if you're a support trying to clear it, or you have low attack speed, it gives the enemy more time to react to you taking it if they're in the area. Otherwise, it also has longer duration, so the wards will just last longer. If the enemy isn't clearing it, you're going to get more value out of it. That's the goal of this. Cool. Not something for us, but good to keep in mind. Sixth Sense. Automatically ping untracked and unseen wards within 900 units. After level 11, Sixth Sense will also reveal the ward for 10 seconds. 300 second cooldown for melee champions, 360 cooldown for range champions. How is this like activated? Is it just like, if it's like 900 units around you and there's a ward that you have never seen being placed, like you didn't ping it, you didn't see it get placed, and nobody swept around it, but they couldn't clear it? It's just gonna be like Umbral Glaive, that lethality item that just lets you know where a ward is, but in a big AoE? That's crazy. Then we have Grisly Mementos. For each champion takedown, gain 4 trinket ability haste. So ability haste for your wards. In modes where this doesn't make sense, Aram, gain 2 summoner ability haste instead, up to a max of 50. In most without wards, all players that select Deep Ward or 6 will automatically be swapped to Grisly Mementos instead. Okay. So you just gain ability haste for your wards for each takedown, which counts as assist and kills. So you can ward more often if you're being active on the map and supporting, or getting kills as jungle or support. Understandable. Axiom Arcanist. The only reason I read all of this. Your ultimate's ability damage, healing, and or shielding is increased by 14%, reduced by 9% for AoE damage abilities. Takedowns on champions refund 70% of your ultimate's current remaining cooldown. Basically, this is good for Yorick because her ultimate is always up and she can always be dealing damage. So Maiden will now, as long as you have this rune, 14% more damage. The takedowns part doesn't count for us because Maiden only goes on cooldown when she dies. So if it still means we can still use it in a sense, because when Maiden is dead, if we get an assist or a kill, we still reduce her cooldown by 7%. So this is a good rune. I would have to make new runes to see, because usually I always go Demolish, and they did lower tower fortification, so we could get more plates and even towers. And there's Feats of Strength, which incentivizes getting towers down towards it. So it's gonna be hard. So maybe I'll start going Grasp again and taking Sorcery second for Axiom Arcanist. Sadly, this is in the same tree as Mana Flow Band, so we may not have a lot of good mana, sadly, if we take this. That sucks, but hey. And then alongside it, we can just take cooldown reduction or Scorch, I guess. It's not too bad. If I think about runes, I'll probably add them on screen, which Conqueror with this, but then you wouldn't have Demolish, which is feels bad, but is an option. It's an option. Because if you do go Conqueror and you do go Axiom Arcanist, then you can have mana through Presence of Mind. But if you go Grasp and you go, well, if you go Grasp, you also have option to Demolish. But if you go Conqueror and you go Axiom, you don't. And Conqueror is very strong at the moment on Yorick, so that's why I'm thinking of going Grasp. And if you go Comet as well, this makes Comet a bit stronger in Yorick, just because in Comet 3, this rune will be there. So I guess it like gives us more option rune-wise, because it buffs Grasp, because Demolish now has more value in lane by potentially giving me more place, because towers will be slightly more squishier at the beginning. And you can still take Axiom Arcanist, even though you'll lose mana without mana flow, but it's an option. Either way, a buff to us here. Wrap your friends and hop into multiplayer package 2, which can now support up to 10 players. That's crazy. I guess we can finally test your Yorick stuff. Let me just do this. Control F. Yorick. There's nothing there. Understandable. How about Maiden? Nothing there. How about Mist? Mistake. Yeah. That's what the fuck Yorick is, a mistake. We banking, gang. We banking. So, I think that's it. The rest are just upcoming skins. So, in TLDR, let me do a summary. Welcome to Noxus. Slightly skim through it. So this is like this is like the new towers and the new map. That's the blood petals and the roses that you would get adapted force and experience from if you take them. And this is where they show how the Nexus towers will respawn after 3 minutes. So you don't have to suffer through a back door. No more XP, essentially. And this one is 6 cents. The one that Kled is about to use. Apparently it just activates a sweeper and then you can go. Grisly Mementos, I'm guessing the one with cooldown, which they just show at least killing somebody. And then this one with Deep Ward, where it has 4 HP on the ward. And did they show that off specifically with Jhin, because Jhin only has 4 auto attack ammo. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yoink. And I believe that's it. Oh, the last one they show is Arcanist with Smolder ult. Axiom Arcanist. So it deals a bit more damage, but it deals less damage if it's an AoE one. Maiden doesn't deal AoE damage, so it doesn't specifically affect her. This is the new jungle monster that we will be fighting. Yeah, Ruinous is the one when there's a lot of kills and damage, and Voracious is the one when not a lot is happening. So that's cool. So when you kill the Ruinous one, the one with the armor, the black one, it drops a bunch of roses that you can pick up that gives you experience and adaptive force. And Voracious one gives you like a GA effect once you do get it. We should be able to. Sadly, I don't have gameplay, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna record my first game of the season and instantly test it. Hopefully it's a good game, otherwise that'd be fucking awkward. But yeah. I don't remember if they showed the revive in this, but it looks cool. But I don't want to spoil myself too much on it. That is why I didn't play PvE. There weren't any items to really test either. So, yeah. But that's it, guys. In this we trust. Axiom Arcanist will be good for us. Towers will take more damage, and we will be rewarded for taking the first tower as well. As for the monster slaying one, we can only secure... Honestly, we can only secure... Honestly, actually, with teleport being able to use before 10 minutes now, we can actively TP to dragon if possible. Because home guard is up always. So, it just going to be weaker, so it's gonna be slower, but we should be able to like take grubs, TP to the second dragon, and then take Rift Herald. But usually if somebody has first blood and they get first tower, they will get it. But if the enemy gets first blood, for example, because we suck ass, and then we take first tower because we're goated, then to break the tie, it has to be whoever gets the first 3 epic monsters. This is honestly why I like doing patch rundowns, because it forces me to like... I read this all by myself, skim through it the first time, so I don't have to read all the text. And then I try to remember everything, so I don't go in game and be like, what the fuck does this shit do? No, I already know for the most part. Only thing I don't know fully is like the Petals thing, but I'm starting to remember now. The rebuffers I did, there's nothing about Yorick. Actually, let me look Malignance. Oh, there's 2 Malignance changes here, but... Oh, it is here! Thank goodness you said this. Fix a bug that cause pets to be unable to properly proc Spear Surgeon and Malignance. Mashallah! Good thing you said that. I guess Malignance and Shojin is now officially fixed again on Yorick, so that's good. That's good, because I tried to find Yorick and the pets and I couldn't find it, but I guess when I put pets, it actually shows up. That's funny. That's funny. Hey, Germs. Super informational actual statement. Probably Kongchu. True! That probably, because usually when Maiden cannot proc Malignance or Shojin, she cannot proc Conqueror either. So that's 2 good things. Okay. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I already know my build usually. Usually I always go Black Cleaver first item. Depending the lane, if I feel like I need wave clear, I get Tiamat first. So I get Tiamat first if I need it, then I get Cleaver, then I get Hullbreaker. Hullbreaker and Titanic feels good together because you get 2 auto attack resets, which works very well with Yorick's Maiden as you take towers or attack an enemy champion. And it also makes sure that you can reach the 5-hit passive easier, since Yorick doesn't have good attack speed, especially if you don't go Triforce. And then the last 2 items are usually situational, but if you go full split push, you can just get Deadman's Plate. Gives you like a Sheen proc at full stacks and deals damage to towers, and it's good to run the fuck away when the enemies are trying to chase you. And for magic resist, you just get Hollow Radiance because your pets can wave clear. They basically gain AoE magic damage to wave clear through Hollow Radiance. So you can just release Maiden and she will have wave clear with it, with the ghoul she's gonna summon, or you can just walk to a lane, make graves or If you have Maiden, just wait and let Maiden make waves, and that wave will push a bit faster. And because minions are a bit weaker at the beginning, but they slowly scale back up, it could be faster than people would expect. Because maybe some lanes will actually push a bit slower mid-game and late game, because minions will be tankier-ish, but we'll see. But either way, basically Cleaver, Titanic, Hullbreaker for armor, Deadmans for magic resist, Hollow Radiance. If they have too much healing, Executioners. If they have too much shielding, you get Serpent's Fang. If you're going Serpent's Fang and they have healing, try to get Bramble Vest, because if you have Bramble Vest and Serpent's Fang, if one person auto attacks you, they lose healing and shielding instantly, and this makes you grouping up a little bit easier. Example, let's say the AD carry has Barrier. They have an enchanter that can heal and shield them. If the AD carry happens to auto attack you, now their healing and shielding is cut by a lot and they're fucked. So even if you group, you anti-affect everybody that hits you, or you get the damage, and then you fuck off. Because usually I don't stay in team fights. I just show up at the beginning, and once the things start, if I don't get a good engage or value out of my W, I leave. Very often. Sometimes I stay at the edge and come back, but usually I leave instantly. So that's it for the build. Shimmering also cooks Bloodthirsters. It does. It fucks anybody that buys a shield item or has a shield or has barrier. So yeah. I guess its percentage win rate could go up because there's gonna be basically the items that gain these ones. The ones that gain extra, like this one gains 4% maximum health shield in physical. This one gains it too. So if the enemy wins the feat, you could build Serpent's Fang if you know it's somebody that has a shield already in their kit. They build a shield item and then their boots will also give them a shield. Like Riven, for example. That's basically going to be the meta. Figuring out who can use the best boots when they do get the feats, and making sure to like get the Voracious or Ruinous Atakhan buffs, or just getting the roses when people die. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this patch. Wish you guys luck and see you next time. Stay safe and stay blessed.
I thank you for your service.
Bless. I can go to sleep now.
Water for the living, shovel for the dead.